Time to draw things. It's time to draw things. Time to draw strange things. It's time to draw magical things. Um, what should should I draw? There we go. There we go, man. There we go, man. There we go. All right. What should we draw? What should we draw? Let me think here. Let me think. I think the thing I will draw next is a doom scroll preventer. I will draw a doom scroll preventer, a device which prevents doom scrolling in such, as one does, as one does. How do we prevent the doom scrolling? You have the hand. You gotta find a way to make it so you can't scroll with the fingers. Let me think here. How would that work? Doom scroll. Like, Okay, I think I got it. Now, the question for doom scrollers is there's got to be more of a chase here. There's got to be more of a risk. There's got to be something to do here. Let's see here. Now, artists are famously bad at drawing hands, so let me see. How does a gosh, man. Okay. That's gonna be weird to draw. Let's see here. Okay. I think I got it. We're gonna put a little thumb. Tim Smith. Hello, Tim Smith. The king is back. Hello. You know what? People will understand. People will understand what I mean by this, I think. Oh my goodness. Time to draw some nails. Oh goodness. Man, this looks horrific. Oh yay. We're rediscovering why I don't draw fingernails. Oh goodness. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea the struggle. No idea how bad this is. The horrors. The horrors. Look at the horrors. Oh my goodness. The horrors, man. Okay. Oh man. This is what happens when you're not like when you don't care about details. This is what happens. Now, okay, so this is a doom scroll preventer. But the problem is like this is a little too simple for me. So we got to figure out a way to make it even more radical. Who here went to mass today to get your ashes? Doom. Scroll. Doom scroll dampener or preventer. I feel like dampener is better. It's more alliterative. So, doom scroll. How do we do in a passive mechanism prevent someone from doom scrolling? I don't know. That's a hard one. I can't think of it. Damp N dampener. Pen E dampener dampenimano. Okay, so I was not able to go. Son had a rough day, teething at daycare, didn't eat his lunch. Dang. Just watch the live stream or perish. His story time tonight, though. Fair. I could see that. Dang, dang, we got fathers. We got fathers in the Gustav fold. Well, apparently, what do you call it? Ash Wednesday isn't a holy day of obligation, but I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? How do we do this? We gotta have like a. Okay, let's see here. If you move your finger too much, maybe there's like a something that senses vibration. How would you sense vibration with a passive mechanical system? Let me see here. Let me see. How does this that's kind of funny. Oh man. Um so let's think here. How do we translate this into something that cuts off your finger? We got to translate this motion into something that cuts off your finger purely mechanically. Um Not the same thing, but you got to do what you got to do with kids. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not judging. Not judging. You got to do what you got to do. Um a grinder circle on the screen. Hmm. I don't know if I think it should be all located within the thumb apparatus. Hmm. Let's think here. How would you prevent doom scrolling? This is complicated, actually. Hmm. Um. Hmm. Maybe there's like a blender. Maybe there's like a blender. If you move your fingers. Hmm. Yeah, that could work. That could work. But where would the blender be? How do you how do you do the blending? Hmm. It's complicated. Oh man. Eh. Hmm. Let's think here. Maybe there's knives. There's spikes are always a good one. Um, but spikes are a little too. They're a little too. I think I got it. Okay, it's not going to be passive, but this is going to be so stupid. Ooh, this is going to be so stupid, man. You guys are going to like it. Yay. Okay. Mm, this is gonna be so funny. Funny to me. Funny to me. Funny to the bees. Bee humor. Bee humor be like. Bzz. Now, the bonus points to the person who understands what I'm drawing before if you understand what I'm drawing before it's like obvious or before I tell you, you get a brownie point. You win at something. Dude, okay, this is funny because how would you say it? The risk versus the reward. Actually, no. The risk of mistakenly activating this machine or what do you call it? This this yes. Um is going to be so unfathomably like high that there's no like the comedy for this what I'm about to do. It's gonna be in the fact that what if I move this a slightly wrong? Anyway, man, just sit back and enjoy the show here. Um, all right, we'll just keep it simple. Keep it simple. I was thinking of something complicated, but I couldn't really. Well, shoot, I got to do a single board computer on top. It'll be an electrically activated thingamajig, and there we go. We'll do that. Little SBC right there. Yeah, I don't even know. Gooseknob and perspective do not mix. I know how to do perspective, but I don't care for it. Well, I don't know. This takes too much mental energy. Um, at least on a live stream. Uh-huh. I think. I mean, I think at this point it's pretty obvious what this is. Pretty obvious. Pretty obvious what this does. Pretty obvious what it does. What it does. What it does is. Man, my brain turn off, man. Sheesh. My brain off and in the closet and dusted. I put my brain in the what do you call it? In the coat closet. It's collecting dust right now. I ain't turned it on in years, man. She okay. I don't like this. I don't like that part. That's not really great. And doesn't TNT have like it's like packed with like it's paper on the outside. So like we got to have like some paper stuff, which like obviously, um, that's the only thing. The mounting mechanism isn't perfect, but that's maybe it was just like surgically mounted. That could be funny, but like I don't really know how that would even work. I think I got it. I think I figured it out. There's gonna be this. It's not gonna exactly work, but um, you just like I don't know. I just nailed it into his hand. It's like a ribbon. It's a ribbon connected to the TNT. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, you get the picture. So, to those who okay, let me read your comments. Live stream. A grinder circle and pepper spray nozzle before front camera lens. Pepper spray nozzle below front cam lens that sprays if you scroll focus time. I just showed my wife what you're drawing. She said not doom scrolling, and she looked for new apartments. She's not doom scrolling, looking for. Wait, current landlord sucks. That, oh gosh, that man. There's so many things in life that are just like I don't think you really have much of a choice in, and it can happen to you even if you play your cards right. One of them is having a bad boss, and one of them I think is having like a stupid landlord, or sometimes a stupid rental situation. So, my condolences. That sucks. Um, let's see here. Okay, so this is a laser. Actually, I got to write this all out. So, laser motion detector. Is it detect ER or OR? Is ER or OR? I don't know. Shoot. Hey Siri, how do you spell detector? Scheisse. Uh, I have no clue. We'll leave it like that. And I can make it O or E if I need to. Single board computer. TNT. And then we got to do a little lock on here, so you can take it off if you wanted to. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. Little cute little. This is the only way that'll prevent me from doom scrolling. All right. So that's that. That's good. That's all good. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. With the exception of detector. All right, we got to draw something else. What's a funny thing to draw? Something with a gnome, I think. Something with a gnome. Okay, we got the gnome. We got the face. What is the face doing? What is the gnome doing with the face? How does this work? Um, hmm. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. What do we do? What do we do? What is this guy doing? Something comically large. Gnome landlord. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. The gnome landlord is going to be evicting okay, maybe he's evicting a snail from his house. Yeah, this is actually gonna be really good. I like this. Freaking gnome landlord gonna be evicting a. Oh my gosh. Dude, man, how we were at like 16 people in our live last time. Now there's only 2. Dang. What are we doing wrong here, man? What are we doing wrong here? I don't know. Dude, snails and worms are so funny. Like there's a class of bug that's like cute, which is kind of crazy. It's like, bugs are like not cute. They're like weird. But there's classes of bugs that are like, oh, it's kind of cute. Like snails and butterflies and worms and bees. It's like, I don't know. If you were to look closely at them, you'd be like, oh no. How could you? How could you? How could you do this? How could you evolve into this? How dare you? Right? But you look at the general form. You look at like, you don't get too bogged down by the details. And you're like, "Oh, look at these snails. These snails are, you know, look at it. It's living in a little house." Anyway, what's the point here? What's the point? What's the point? Um, it's weird. It's weird because like a lot of bugs, man. It's like, you know, they bug me. Get out! No. A lot of bugs. A lot of bugs are just disturbing, man. It's like, why do you, what's wrong with you? A cockroach. Like, imagine all the little decisions the ancestors of cockroaches had to make to end up in that like pathetic, horrific state, right? Um, a Gustav original in action, indeed. What are you? What is? Okay, how do we say this? Your rent is 2 months past due. You're 2 months late on rent. I'm evicting you. Yeah, yeah, whatever. You're two. It's not actually spelled your. It's spelled Y-O-U-R. That would be funny. You're 2 months late on rent. Consider yourself evicted. Maybe that's something. It's got to be like a better way of saying it, a more poetic way of saying this. Get out of the shell. I got to use the word evicted because I could say get out of the shell. I could say stuff like that. Yes, I am the real goose knob. I got to say evicted somehow. Consider yourself evicted. I'm evicting you. Maybe it's just I'm evicting you. I'm not sure. Should it just be I'm evicting you? That's what the snail says, and then the gnome pulls out a gun and shoots him. Dude, what type of a landlord do you have, man? Jeez. Actually, no, wait. Wrong guy. The other guy had a landlord problem. You're evicted. I said you're twice. Fine, whatever. Whatever. You're I don't even know if that's proper. I don't know. There's the proper way of saying things with all of the little minutia and little kind of subtle elements. And then there's the way that just sounds right. And my English teacher, probably one of the best English teachers in the United States, and also a I don't know, real hard ass. But he said if you insist on grammar even in the spoken setting, then you're just a douchebag. If you're like, I don't know, if someone doesn't use like the correct subject, verb, agreement, all that other stuff, or if they don't use the right sentence structure or whatnot when they're speaking, or if they correct you, if they say, well, that's not actually how you say it. Dude, it'd be funny? Someone correcting someone's spelling for something they said. That would be funny. I feel like that'd be like a nice man on the street interview thing. You're 2 months late on rent. You're evicted. That's not well written. 2 months late. Oh, gosh. Okay, guys. Check this out. I'm the doctor of comics. I am the doctor of comics, and you're about to see me perform surgery. A man performs surgery on a comic. He's in there for 10 hours. 10 hours of grueling surgery on a comic. Bro, where's my whiteout? The gnomes took my freaking whiteout. What? Dude, it was like right here. You gotta be joking. I had like 2 or 3 whiteouts right here. What? Well, this is insane, guys. What? Dude, this is... Where could it have gone? Where could it have gone? Oh my gosh, man. Okay. What? I had like multiple of these, and now I only have one. What the hell? What the hell, man? 2 months late on rent, you're evicted. That makes sense. This makes some grammatical sense. See, one rule of good writing is never waste a word. I would say it's not a good idea to waste words. If you don't need to put a word in, if you can find a way, if you can logically find a way to take a word out of something, it's probably a good idea to take it out. Because let's look at the grammar here. This is an implied. I use an implied word here. The implied word is your. But is it necessary if it's already implied? I would argue no. It's like the implied that. There's anyway. That's the good thing about English. You get to imply things. 2 months late on rent. 2 months late on rent. You're evicted. How do I tell my? Yes. See, this is the other thing with comedy. I think you have a joke. I mean, this is a joke. It's like, a gnome evicting a snail. Now, my approach, which I think actually cheapens it, but I like it, is you just keep going. And it's like, that would be the punchline, but I like adding another punchline just to muddy the waters. How do I? Because it's. I think just like not caring about where your punchline is and just like spreading the cream everywhere. I think that's it makes it more humor or not humorous, but more maybe not entertaining. It makes it more whimsical. Yeah, whimsical and entertaining, I think. I don't know. I don't like the kind of the format of comedy of like da 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 da, punchline. It's like, I don't know. I mean, sure, it can be funny, but like, I don't know. And this is why I will never do well in comedy. How do I tell my snail wife? Something like that. Now, that being said, let's be honest here. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe you do need a punchline. But then again, I don't know. Should the thought be going to his brain, or should it be going to his eye stalks? I vote eye stalks. Because I'm like, there's a nerve that probably goes down there, and that neuron started the thought of how do I tell my snail wife. Okay, that's enough. All right, people do not. Gosh, man. Oof, I gotta come up with a strike force. I gotta come up with a congressional hearing, or maybe not a congressional hearing. I gotta start a what are they called? Think tank. How do we? It's pretty funny that he is stating you're evicted. Whiteout got evicted. How do I keep rediscovering you? Was a fan of your Insta post when I was 13. Stopped using it when I was 15. Once a year, you see a random corner internet. Now 20. Eye stalks. Why is that? Probably because we have similar humor, and algorithms are very good at pairing people to what they become addicted to. Like, I don't know. Which is why doom scrolling is so dangerous. Man, we're every single one of these live stream rants is becoming a one about doom scrolling. What are we talking about? Oh man, I'm gonna go bed. It was nice talking with y'all. Although this live stream was a little more shorter, took the top off a little bit. Maybe it's the time. I think maybe that's it. Because the previous live streams we did them at like 8 or 9 or something. We did them pretty late, so I'm assuming that's when everyone is home from work and they're sitting in front of their computers. And maybe I don't know. How did you guys find this live stream actually? You do Vine Drew? What does that mean? Yeah, tell me please. How did you guys find this live stream? Like, did you just open YouTube and you saw this live stream was going? Did you find it on the main landing page? Were you given a notification for it? Like, how did you figure it out? Global presence of Gustav homework. It's funny. You just opened YouTube and now you're on it. Okay. Anybody else? Did anyone get notified or anything? Because quite frankly, I don't know how this YouTube stuff works. I know on Instagram, it notifies and does other stuff, but for YouTube, it's different. Vine Drew is a grape in Danish. What? I don't know how time passes. Yeah, we got it. I don't know if you guys keep coming back, it means that there's probably something evergreen with what we're doing here. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good sign. That's probably a good sign. Now I gotta weaponize my audience. We gotta create a standing army, take over Britain. Gustav is still alive. Unfortunately, no, 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 no. How many? How many? Gosh, I get that a lot. The subtext of that is there's two subtexts. Either it's a cavalier use of the word alive, or or maybe on a deeper level, people who say that have had people who don't live that long, which means either the suicide rate is going up or the Fent reactor is going on full tilt. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, which I probably am, but I feel like those neural nets that can detect whether someone is a male or a female from looking at the eyes. You can tell a lot from tiny details, which is what our brains are designed to do. We're designed to look at something, figure out what the most important elements are, and then make a judgment call on it. Like there's some French philosophers, I think, or some philosophers that said if you went into a supermarket without the goggles of habit, it would be like a profound experience, which I don't know, which is what the neural nets do. The neural net in your mind simplifies things into the most important bits. Anyway, point is, I think you can oftentimes look at even the subtlest details, right? The subtlest detail in how a text is written, you know, or how someone phrases something or their grammar, you know. Do they use uppercase or lowercase? You know, do they use periods? Do they use punctuation? You know, what words do they use? And from that, you can tell an incredible amount from people. Now, I think sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, um, most likely, but sometimes there are like, I mean, the thing is, I feel like you don't know what tells exist, especially for a sufficiently advanced neural net. You don't know what tells, what information you're putting out there, um, reveals something interesting about the person or the phenomenon that that came from that information. It's like I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if you are you guys following what I'm saying? Um, we are designed to recognize patterns. Yes, and the point is, patterns can be so infinitesimally small or subtle that it can border on looking like schizophrenia. But that's what schizophrenia is too. I think it's like imagine your brain is a regression algorithm. I think um, you can have a really poor fit, and these are the types of people who just can't see patterns for their life. Like imagine you have a data point, right? One there, and one there. The line is that. Someone who is very bad at pattern recognition, the line would be like that. Oh, it could be that or that or that. It's like, they have no clue what the line is. They have no clue how the regression works. But then you have someone who's like way overfit. So imagine you have like a sinusoidal wave, or maybe not a sinusoidal wave. Maybe you have like some erratic pattern, right, of data points. An overfit would be like ascribing like a line to each of those data points. And I think maybe that's like what's happening with schizophrenia, where every single little thing has like insane meaning to it. Like, oh my gosh, the my bread, I saw a mold spore on it. That has to connect with the guy at the bank who looked at me in a weird way. They have to be putting mold spores on this, and the traffic light was a little too went too late, probably because they wanted the mold spore to have time to grow while I wasn't it. Like I feel like that's kind of what schizophrenia is. It's overfitting, and seeing patterns where there are really no patterns. And then I think that's an element. I'm not saying that that's all of what schizophrenia is, but I think that might be part of it. I always found it stupid in Star Trek Voyager when the Tuvok Vulcan talked down to the crew for recognizing patterns he didn't think were in the nebulas or clouds. Well, the guy who made Star Trek, the people who made Star Trek, the amorphous blob that generated Star Trek, was very leftist. So I feel like I feel like hmm, I don't know if they were doing that unironically, if they were getting upset about pattern recognition unironically in Star Trek, which I think they've done in a couple different instances. It's very on brand. It's very on brand. The bad vibe people sometimes feel is exactly that. Your subconscious neural network da 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 da, figures out that something's off. Yes, yes. And I would say, and here's the interesting thing. Um, the human mind, the human neural net is very powerful, right? It can figure some interesting things out. But are we omniscient? Do we can I walk into a house and say like, okay, this house is going to collapse in 53.2 years, and I know exactly what I need to do to get to my optimal, like, no. Like, neural nets are not a superpower. Like, they're really powerful, but they're not like, they don't make you a god. And the human mind is, I would say that the human mind is more powerful than the current LLMs that exist. LLMs, they're just good because they can connect, like, they have more data. So like the human brain can't store as much as an LLM can, which is why I think LLMs are powerful. But are LLMs smart? No. LLMs are pretty stupid. They just regurgitate, like, oh well, but they can code really well. I don't think they can code very well, but they can regurgitate what's been done like a million times before. So that's what they're good at coding. Um, Point is though, if the human brain, which is already better than many LLMs, um, or I'd say all LLMs with the exception of memory, don't already have like singularity level intuition about the universe, I think it means that AI isn't going to hit a singularity either. Like it's not going to be like I don't know, like how many patterns can you really get? Like it's not just about figuring out the patterns in existing data. It's figuring out new data. It's also interpreting the entire picture of what the data is. Like there's so much more that I think LLM AIs and whatever it's just they just scratch the surface. And what they really can do right now, I think, is maybe notice things that people haven't hit yet. Like, let's say there's like two data points that are really close together, but no one really spent the time and the effort to figure it out. Like no one figured out that, oh, protein folding is similar to this. They didn't connect it yet. But the LLM, just because, maybe it was low hanging fruit, it figured it out. Like, oh yes, there you go. And I think that's where some maybe short term scientific advancement from AI can, where that can happen. But long term, as we continue interconnecting all the data points and understanding, what the how the data is structured, and you know what makes sense. I think maybe the utility of AI will decrease. And once we have like a decent model given our current data set, like the AI is not going to be able to tell us much more than what we already know and what's already encoded in the model. And at that point, let's say 100 years from now, then the pendulum will swing back and human beings will have to like get really creative and innovative and figure out like what are the, what have we not considered yet? And they're going to need to create new data, um, new theories, new kind of frameworks that haven't been done before. And then I think that's probably maybe that's the future of kind of a humanity with AI. Humans create a bunch of interesting stuff, then AI, you know, sweeps up sweeps up the crumbs, make sure that we didn't miss anything. And then we stagnate again because we over rely on AI. And then we go up again where, human beings now, hit another paradigm shift in science or whatever. And then we go back and forth. And I don't know. Maybe that's what AI will be, but it's I don't know. Singularity cells are yeah. I think that's I don't know, man. I don't know. It'd be cool. I mean, it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to have a singularity, I think. It'd be really cool for that kind of religious thing to happen. But I think it is just another kind of religion. It's like a materialistic AI religion, and I don't think it's true. I think it's like kind of a bunch of finance bros believe in the AI religion because it would make their I don't know, the stocks do really well for them or something. I don't know, man. I've seen schizophrenia and OCD shown as opposites. OCD's minds get stuck in the same patterns, while schizos travel through disparate thoughts too quickly. You can't predict things outside of the distribution of what you've seen before without powerful constraints, penalties which restrict your thinking. Hmm. Interesting. LLMs have data and working memory to their advantage, but they're limited by the simplicity and rigidity of neurons, ReLU. There must be a better way in layer structures. I don't know. ReLU is really good though. It's like, and maybe I'm wrong, but what it show like ReLU isn't about like the activation neurons and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. Like you have to understand, you're applying non-linearity to this regression model using like quantized what do you call it? Like quantized non-linear systems. Like it's it's the simplest, most efficient way to apply non-linearity to a neural net. Um, non-linearity, blah blah blah. And it's like it's digital non-linearity. It's like you're just applying like you can imagine ReLU is just like a bunch of like pixels, right? It's like on or off. And it's like that's like fine. Like that should be fine. Because it's like the purpose of activation isn't to provide some smoothing or whatever. Like you can do that with neurons, with the sheer number of layers or the sheer size, like amount of neurons, right? Um, like what matters is that you just apply some sort of nonlinearity. Um, so it's like you could say, well, like for example, you could say, when I look at my phone, or my computer, why it's not going to be a really smooth image because I'm using a bunch of tiny pixels. Like I'm using pixels that are squares, right? It's like a square like laser of LED hitting my eye. It's like it's not good. It's going to be choppy, right? And let's say I had like 8 LEDs. Yeah, sure. But if I add like 1,000, a million, if I had 1 billion LEDs, it's going to look pretty damn good. It's probably going to be look as good as an analog. And I feel like you could probably model this mathematically as like some sort of like limit or something. It's like, there's probably some number of um, digital elements or quantized elements where it's like a single single things where the amount of single digital units can approximate an equivalent analog system. Like if I had an oscilloscope and I have like a what do you call it? Like a sine wave, you know. It's a perfect sine wave. So I could zoom in and it would like it has like should have like infinite zoomability or scalability just because it's analog or whatever. Um, but we live in a quantum world, meaning that there are limits, right? Energy exists in packets and there's a Planck limit and there's limits and things, you know, things are kind of digital at a lower level. So at that level, you could like our brains are probably analog. LLMs are digital. And I feel like you could have a pretty good approximation, even though LLMs wouldn't be analog, which is why ReLU works, I think. Anyway, but I think I might be even wrong in some regard because, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think a paper once said that ReLU, it doesn't even matter how many neurons, like you can still have a really good ReLU neural net with just a couple neurons. So it might not even be the case where it's kind of blurring as the data scales, I don't know. The long-term future of scientific computing is efficiently combining the data with physics. Yeah, so that it's interesting because I had a similar thought. It's like, well, we need good models, we need good physics models, but the problem is the physics models are only as good as the assumptions that they're based on, and they're not infinitely kind of scalable. So, like, kind of going back there, it's like Newton's laws work at our level, but then what happens when you look at like the universal scale or you look at like the quantum scale? Like the Newton's laws kind of break down a bit. So, like simulations are good for modeling. Now, the good for modeling, but they aren't infinitely scalable. They probably make mistakes at some level. Now, the solution there is maybe you evolve different models and you try and create like a physics simulation that works really well at like all the levels you're looking at. Which, maybe that's the future. It's like, you know, which is why I think, and I've talked to you about this before, Cash, but this is why I think evolutionary algorithms are very important because how else are you going to make those models? It's like, you can come up with mathematical solutions and it can make things, like the deep seek method. The deep seek method, I think they're just really good at math and it's a good accelerator. But I think the computational approach to mathematics is also I don't know, there's value in it, right? Instead of, solving it by hand and kind of, figuring out in your mind what the mathematical perfect analog solution to something is. I think I don't know. There's definitely value in letting the computer think for you. CNN's widely used data processing physics, which I'm studying right now. Yeah. Wojak is outdated. I like the Wojak. Wojak is evergreen. See? Yes, indeed. Hold on. Okay. I think we're good though. I think I think we gotta go to bed. I think I gotta go to bed. Gotta go to bed, man. She mathematically ReLU is good enough to approximate nearly anything you want geometrically or fitting a piecewise linear spline to your data. Yeah. There's a debate in partial differential equation constrained optimization about whether to discretize your problem before or after solving it. They both have merits. The best choice depends on the particular problem. Yeah, that's probably true. That's the thing, though. Everyone wants the one size fits all algorithm. They want the one size fits all, like, scientific thing. But, and maybe it'll happen at some point. Maybe we'll find a way where it's like an elegant, unified theory of everything. But it seems to me like the way reality works is it's a little messy. It's a little messy and there's no free lunch. Like there's things that work in different many different areas and I don't know. It sucks, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are like perfect solutions to everything, to like multiple domains, but I don't know. I wonder if we could find like the minimum number of ideal solutions to the maximum number of problems. I think that's kind of the goal of science. Something like that. I hope a grand unified theory of physics never gets found. It would be so boring to essentially have solved science. I wonder if that's possible. I wonder if that's possible. We'll have to see. Any other power sources that isn't cobalt or lithium in order to upgrade fully? Um, that's not. Those aren't power sources. Those are power containers. I think that's what you meant. But it's like we already have those. Like batteries are stupid. I mean, this is already a solved system. I would say as an engineer. Batteries are stupid. There's use cases for batteries, like your phone. It would be funny to have a gasoline powered phone though. Imagine. Okay, we're drawing one more thing, and then I'm going to bed. Oh, dude, this is so good. But yeah, the solution is already exists. I think it's hydrogen powered stuff. Hydrogen powered mm, cars and things of a similar sort. It's gonna be so good. Oh my gosh. Fucking gasoline powered phone, man. Uh okay, now how does oh my gosh, man. I should have I did there was one live stream I did where I said I don't really know how a motor works. And I still don't, but I know a little better. But the problem is now I don't know how to draw it. Like you'd have some crankshaft and you'd have another little shaft thing here. So let's just do that. We'll have like a little, yeah, something like that. Little cranky boy. Oh man, where's the pistons? The pistons got to be somewhere. Maybe we have like side pistons. I wonder if that's a thing. Side pistons, and I'm gonna have like some sort of like internal. This is where the crankshaft is gonna be. It's gonna be like there, something like that. I don't know, man. Some sort of man. We're there's vibe coding, and then there's vibe engineering, and we're vibe engineering right now. I don't even. Okay, man. Yeah. This is why like technical drawings. Shoot. Oh man, Someone once told me, "Bro, technical drawings are so hard," and I was like, "Nah, man, technical drawings are easy." But I think this is why technical drawings are hard. When you actually get into details and it's like a complicated mechanism, yes, technical drawings are probably hard. Um, let's see here. This is gonna be gasoline or something. Um, wait, that's stupid. Why did it no, gosh. That's not how it was supposed to be. This is supposed to be a freaking, uh, gosh, it's supposed to be a batter whatever. Oh, whatever, okay. Here's the secret. Whenever you mess up in a drawing, um, like, who's gonna know that you messed up? You know, maybe some technical people are gonna be like, "This makes no sense." But the average layman, they're gonna look at anything, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, man, there's a lot of wires coming out of that. That looks pretty technical." That's probably that probably has some thought that went into it. Like, you look at old animes, right? You know, some animes, like, they actually have a lot of mechanical, design in them, and they're actually really well done. You got someone who's very mechanically oriented who made stuff. But a lot of the time, the mechanics just they make 0 sense. So so now we're in that phase. We gotta just draw a bunch of different, a bunch of wires and stuff. Actually, let's see here. We're gonna add something that the old the old thing from, some cameras got this, like the wooden grippy. Um, yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, like, just pretend that that's like a six-cylinder engine, or would that be a four-stroke engine? I don't know. Some amount of engine exists in this area, and let's say there's some gears or something, and a little there we go. We got that. We got that. We got there. Um, okay, here's what we do. Instead of making that something there, we'll do that, and we'll have like we'll salvage this. Here's the second way to salvage it. Um, Actually make it accurate, but just make it way more inefficient. And that's what we're gonna do here. So wait, this will be a timing belt. We're just gonna connect that there. No, that's a gear. Actually, yes, it is a timing belt. So we have a timing belt up there. The timing belt's gonna go down there, something like that, and that's connected to the gasoline tank. This is just gonna be a mini, turbine. No, turbine? Is it a turbine? Motor. This is a motor. This is a motor right here. Maybe it's like a mini motor, and we're just, we're transmitting torque down here, and that goes there, and the gasoline goes there. We need a pump. We need a pump of some sort, so that'll be the pump, something. We also need a starter, so gosh, where's our starter engine gonna be? We'll just have, like, a starter. No! Ah, this is even better. It's not a starter engine. This is gonna be so good. It's a You gotta crank it. You gotta crank it to start the engine. That's pretty that work that it does the trick. It does the job. It's fine. It's fine. It'll work. It'll do the job, right? Would you guys still love me if it didn't do the job? Would you still love me if I didn't have a guy with big feet job? Do. Coming up with the random shape apps. Oh man, did you download that? Did you download like semi Wi-Fi symbol? Um, I'm gonna label everything. So starter, crank, something like that. What is this called? A motor. Electric motor. There's probably a better word for that, but it's a motor, you know. That's a gear system. It's a gear system. Gasolina, self-explanatory. How many stroke engine of that? Engine. Fuel tank. Starter engine or something. I don't know. All right, I think that's pretty good. Dude, has this been done before? Has someone made the schematics for a gasoline powered phone? Dude, imagine if I just patented this. That would be really funny. Dude, I need like $1 million so I can just patent every single little stupid invention I come up with. For no reason other than to just, it would be funny to have a patent on some of these things. I'm gonna have some mechanic getting mad at me because it's not accurate. And it is not accurate, but it's more accurate than if some rando drew a gasoline powered phone. Slightly more accurate. See, there's a saying in engineering. Your job as an engineer isn't to know everything. Actually, when you're first hired at an engineering company, your job isn't to be the guy who knows how to do everything. Apparently, actually, it's not good advice. Like you should try and be the guy who knows how to do the stuff. But that's not what they hire you for. The reason why an engineering degree is useful is because it makes you slightly more competent, or you know slightly more than an average person who you would just yank off the street. I've heard a couple engineers say that. So maybe it's not done that way anymore, but I don't know. For boomers at least. Many boomers and Gen Xers say that. So I don't think we live in that world anymore. But I don't know. Just funny foods for thoughts. Oh gosh. Okay, we gotta get this out of the way too. This is unacceptable. All right, I think that might be it. I think we might be might be done for the day. Yeah, I think we're done for the day. Okay. All right. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna cosplay as Ozymandias and show you all my works, and you guys are gonna despair. You guys are gonna despair. So we got a doom scroll dampener, where if you move your thumb, it detonates the TNT on your hand. Not fun. 2 months late on rent, you're evicted. How do I tell my snail wife? All right, all right, all right, all right. Enough of this. Starter engine, starter crank, engine, fuel tank, electric motor, blah, blah, blah. Gasoline powered phone, Mark III. All right, that was that. Sign up today with BP Wireless. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I don't think I could. Can I do that? How do you spell Exxon? That's funny. That's funny. All right. He looks unhappy. Doom scrolling solution. Phone runs out of gas at midnight. Ignition coils. Timing belt on the tank for today. Timing belt on the tank for today. Yeah, no, I guess it is pretty bizarre. Ignition coils. Oh yeah. Oh shit, we do need ignition coils. All right. I drew an ignition coil. I'm not going to show you because I'm taking a guess at what you meant by ignition coil. Actually, I don't even. No, I think that would work. Hi, Gustav. What cool phone do you like? Cheeseburgers. What? Dead internet theory. It's 2 engines and a motor to start your phone. It's 2 engines and a motor. Well, the electric motor is basically a converter from. Would that be an alternator? I think that would be an alternator, right? I think it's an alternator. It's all motor anyway. I'm using the common language. I don't know. We don't need all these stupid terms. You got engines and you got electric motors. Take your pick. You want a turbine? That's just a motor. That's just an engine. You want an alternator? That's just a motor. I think. I don't know if that's accurate actually. Anyway. All right, fellas. I think that was it. We've had a good run. This was a nice conversation. People are working on ways to learn what you don't know and use what you do know about physics, the physics of your problem. I wonder how you do that. That's complicated. Perfect solution is hard work by a qualified human being. CNNs didn't end the field of image processing. They made things more things possible. Yes. I mean, neural nets are a tool. They're a pretty good tool, but like I don't know. Maybe I think at best maybe they're like calculators. I don't know. Singularity posting is not. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think there's much evidence for it. I don't think it's. It's not a very. It's a belief that's not really backed up by much evidence, or I don't think it's. I don't think it works. Anyway, green energy phone. Green energy phone. It runs on your hopes and dreams. All right. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.